four-time Miss Olympia Jay Cutler. Welcome to my channel, Jay Cutler TV, and make sure to stay in tune with the newest and updated videos. Subscribe below, guys. Thank you so much for following along. All right, so Olympia weekend 2018, and someone I expected to see in this contest. I'm not sure where. Maybe he'll fill us in a little bit, but the teen sensation turned pro at 20 years old at the USA, first time. I predicted it would happen. Cody Montgomery, good to see you, brother.
Hey, very good to see you always.
And unexpected to see you here. Jay Jung actually told me downstairs that you were here, so I'm like, fuck, I gotta say hi, because I know it's been a while. Last time we saw Cody on this channel, he was holding the Sandow trophies at my home, sitting on my couch and trying to learn a little bit of background on how to get all those accolades on the walls, and we know he's built up quite a career, so different year for you. I expected to see you going. I heard this thing about classic physique. Dude, you're not a classic physique guy. You ended up doing the 212s. Tell me what's going on.
I've just been at a kind of a breaking point, not breaking point, turning point in my career. About 14 months ago, I became a father. Which is awesome, by the way. Thank you. Which has definitely changed my mindset and kind of where I want to go with my life, just in the long term, not maybe in the short term. I love bodybuilding. This has been my passion since day one. I've been watching this guy on YouTube and watching Dave's videos all the way back. I mean, I can remember when I was still in middle school. Wow. You know, so I mean, it's a dream.
Which, by the way, Cody, was not long ago. How old are you today, by the way?
24. I just turned 24 last month.
24, man. And I mentioned,
two days away from your birthday.
Dude, not to cut you off, but 20 years old, won the Mr. USA. I think that's the youngest.
Overall. Yeah.
No, I know, but yeah, he got his pro card at 20.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Shit, I won at 23. I thought I was doing big shit. And then Cody comes along and wins Teenage Nationals 3 years in a row. 17, 18, and 19. Okay? And then goes in the next year when everyone thinks, oh, he's a teen sensation and fucking smokes everybody at the USA because his pro card. But, you know, you did the Arnold that first year. I think, dude, you did an awesome, like, I remember seeing you with Devastated after because it was the first show you lost. Like, I don't even know since if you ever lost as a teenager.
Yeah, no.
So it was the first loss in the Arnold lineup, which was pretty deep. I don't know, what'd you finish? 8th or 10th? Okay. So I know you were Devastated. I ran into the same problem when I turned pro, right? It was like, you know, you mentioned now becoming a father, a lot of priorities, right? It's a lot of decision making, whatever. I don't have any children, but I know how excited you were about it. I turned pro at 23 and I still wasn't big enough to compete with the guys, so I had to take some time down. And I know that's crossed your mind. And the thing is when I heard you were going to Classic, I was like, man, like he's not a Classic guy, like he doesn't have to lose size. And I know it's kind of the decision you like, maybe I just don't want to get the time, right? You wanted to commit more time to your family or whatever. But I think, you know, you chose the 212. You did well in the 212s. I mean, you probably could have qualified for this show, right?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't feel like I was at my best even for 212. It was really fun. I mean,
but you had trouble making weight, you said.
It was trouble making weight, but it was really, I mean, looking back on it, you know how you always look back and you reflect and you always think you can do stuff 10 times better. But looking back, I think I could have been way tighter and I think it could have been sharper, and there's pounds right there as far as coming off. Making weight was extremely difficult, which made me get turned off from the fact of doing 212 ever again, just because I was sitting there not drinking water for, you know, almost 3 days. Just like borderline crazy stuff to where I was like, this isn't bodybuilding, you know, it's not building my body to the best, which was a little bit frustrating in that class. But obviously it went really well. I got second in Toronto. I was ecstatic just to feel like I fit finally back on stage.
I know, but the problem is, though, is like you won the USA's at what weight at 20?
At 220.
So I mean, for you to get down to 212,
yeah, and that's where it's really been.
You're not a super short guy either.
That's where it's been at for me in a career. Is obviously me having a son. You know, a lot of stuff's changed with my pressure. You know, I put pressure on myself always as a bodybuilder, all the time. But now it's like as a businessman. You know, now I have a 1-year-old, almost a 2-year-old. Who's going to be getting into, you know, school later on, and like I'm thinking much more big term. You know, thinking about how I can push my family in a direction to where my family had me growing up. I was raised very, you know, both my parents are engineers. I was raised in a good household that had everything that we needed, and that's exactly what I wanted for my son. So you know, my priorities switched from, okay, I want to be Mr. Olympia to I want to be able to provide the best life I can for my son. You know, I still love this stuff, but I'm just putting, you know, them first, and I know what it takes to. I don't really even know what it takes. Honestly, I've seen these guys transform into open guys.
I know, but it's time.
But
bro.
it's
like you're not even tapping the potential.
no, and that's a little bit frustrating with coming down. Obviously, doing classic is in today's day and age. There's a pressure that you need to be something right now. You know, I feel like if I really did take these last couple years off to grow and mature, I feel like I'd probably be jobless right now at the end of the day, and that's the reality.
You know, the funny thing is we try to make, I hate making comparisons like, oh, he's as good as this guy, that guy, but I always told everyone, like, you could be a guy, in no disrespect to like a Branch Warren, where he came from, it took him a while to build up, and he was second to me in 09, you know what I'm saying? So you have the genes, you have the base. It's just time it's going to take to get there. And the funny thing is, I follow your social. You're a huge social guy as far as like the marketing side, right? You have a lot of different contracts. I love that, but I like your hustle. But even the appreciation of you, like you transplanted from Texas to Florida, right? I saw you went back to Texas when you were training, right? Now, explain to me, I know when you did all those team shows, right? In the USA, you were in Texas, correct? Yeah. You trained in your gym. What was the gym you trained at?
The Muscle Factory with Roland.
Which you raved about, right? You went back there to finish your prep this past year,
I
right?
mean,
why?
The real reason why, looking back on it now, I went there for one reason, and now looking back, I went there on a different, you know how it is, in the back of your head, you always have a different reason, but I really went because I lost my confidence. I lost the confidence I had being on stage and that I could do this, and you know, my crew was in Texas. I left. You know, those are the people that really that believed in me. Maybe sometimes when I didn't believe in myself, and they pushed me in those, you know, the extra 5-10%, which you know in this sport can go a long ways, and especially with you know how up and down some of these days can be on dieting, especially when I was trying to make 212. You know, I'm kind of scared to do this alone. You know, so I went back home. I went around to people that I knew cared and loved for me enough to you know, put everything aside. I lived in the gym owner's house in a spare bedroom for 4 months. I didn't see my son. You know, it was a lot of sacrifice, and every day that I trained, I knew what I was there to do because I had a job to do. And you know, I'm a very goal-oriented person, so you know, hearing Jay say stuff like this is definitely very motivating to me because obviously I've kind of fallen off my rhythm and off my rhyme a little bit, so to speak. But I mean, at the end of the day, I've always just loved bodybuilding, and it's just been a little bit of a I've been questioning it because I'm in between. It's like I could be an okay 212 or I can be a small open guy. I don't know if I can ever be. Actually, I don't think I ever want to be a 300-pound guy. You know, I can see myself maybe being on stage at 230s, maybe 240 one day. But even that, compared to some of these guys nowadays, you know, I mean, they're getting up there 270, 280 ripped. And I'm not like a super tall guy, so you know, I just play all these stuff into my head, and really the long-term effects from everything, and that's kind of where I made my decision to try to go to Classic, and then to come and find out that I wasn't going to be able to make it. I went to 212, but really for next year in 2019. It might come back to slap me in the face, but I'll say it here now. I'm just going to chase my best physique. I'm not going to chase any weight class. I'm not going to chase any numbers. I'm going to put all my eggs in one basket for next year. Obviously, I'm going to try to do it in Florida, being around my son, so I feel like I, you know, have my team, which he's my #1 team player nowadays, and I'm going to get up there and I'm going to give what I can. And you know, if I'm up there 225, I'm up there 225, and that's just what I'm going to do. And I'm just going to bring the best physique that I can. Finally, after all these years, so
yeah, but you're not even close yet. But listen, you gotta remember something, okay? I'm gonna just say something, and we'll sign off. But remember, bodybuilding is being in the gym and training, right? You can't base your career off, okay, how I place in shows or picking shows. You gotta understand, there's a lot of people that follow you, including myself. Okay, I see what you do. So remember, put out your content. Show your personality, show your lifestyle, because that's what motivates people every day. Dude, in the end, people aren't going to remember, people don't remember how many Olympias I won, honestly. They think I won 7. I never even correct the guys that tell me, oh, you won 7. They don't care. They just follow what the lead is and being a role model for them, right?
That's what I've always
and honestly, dude, you had huge achievements beyond I mean, people look at Olympias and it's like, you're a team champ, you won at 20. I mean, that's a huge achievement. Keep riding that. Keep motivating people, you know what I mean? You're going to be your best in time, but it just takes time to do that. And you've got to, you know this, we can go to the gym and train all we want, but it's mental, okay? Your body is going to build its own path. You just got to follow it. Just go in the gym and keep doing what you do every day and, you know, keep putting out the content because people love it. I love it. I'm always in your corner, so, dude, hopefully, I don't have to sit you down on the couch and reprimand you again and tell you get back up on stage.
We'll do another interview. How about after I compete next year?
Cody, how about this? Whenever you feel down a little bit, can you rewatch this interview over and over before going training?
No, I really will. And honestly, I can't say enough about this guy. He's the #1 reason I started bodybuilding, and he's the
And I only won
#1
T-National
reason-
one time.
He's the #1 reason I'm still doing it today. You know, honestly. So thank you to Jay.
Okay, so we just got to do one shot. We got to do one bicep shot because I got to show. Okay, everyone, this is not classic. That is not classic, people.
I gotta take a picture of that. Hang on. Wow.
For Jay Cutler TV, Cody Montgomery, coming back in 19. Watch
All right.
it.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, I appreciate it.